Today we are going to discuss the chapter The 100 Dresses Part 2 by Eleanor Estes. The 100 Dresses Part 1 has already been taught to you, so you're already aware of the concept of bullying in schools. This is an extension of the same chapter. As already aware, Eleanor Ruth Rosenfield, Esther, better known as the author, was an American children's author. She was born in West Haven, Connecticut as Eleanor Ruth Rosenfield. Originally, she was a librarian. Her writing career began following a case of tuberculosis. She was bedridden. While bedridden and after recovering from her disease, she began writing down some of her childhood memories, which would later turn into full-length children's books. Her book, Ginger Pie, which was published in 1951, won the Newbery Medal, and 3 of her other books were chosen as Newbery Honor Books. She also received the Certificate of Award for Outstanding Contribution to Children's Literature and was nominated for the Laura Ingalls Wilder Award. By the time of her death at the age of 82, she had written 19 children's books and 1 novel for adults. Now the story, The 100 Dresses, Part 2, is actually based in the true experience of the author, as I already told you that she wrote about her childhood memories in her books. So this is one of her experiences about a girl who is teased by her classmates because she is not like them. She is a little different. Wanda Petronski is the name of the girl. She comes from a small town, a poor part of town, and she's the only student in her class who has a funny, polished name. Funny as per the standards of the school. She's always quiet and she always wears the same faded blue dress to school. She has only one dress that she wears to school, although she claims she has 100 dresses at home, all lined up in her closet. Maddie and her friends later discover that Wanda is a very talented artist, and that her drawing of 100 beautiful dresses has won the school's art contest. So basically the 100 dresses that she's talking about is actually a drawing of 100 dresses that she's made at home. The girls realize that they misjudged Wanda and feel incredibly guilty for never believing her stories of her 100 dresses. In the end, the girls write a letter to Wanda hoping to make amends, and they are pleasingly surprised by her willingness to forgive. So what happens is, while the class was circling, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note, and Miss Mason reads this note to the class. The note says, "Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to a big city. No more holler Polak. No more ask why funny names. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronski." So because the concept here is this girl who has a different name than rest of the students in the class was being bullied by her classmates. She was being looked down upon by them. She was being mocked by them. And also the fact that she came to school in the same dress every day, her classmates used to make fun of her, though she would claim in front of them that she has 100 dresses, beautiful dresses at home, which she never wore to school. So when this bullying reaches an extent that she goes home and discusses it with her parents send a note to the teacher that she's not going to come to school anymore. So this is all about this trauma, mental trauma that a child faces because of being bullied by his or her classmates at school. This story is told from the perspective of one of Wanda's classmates, Maddie. Maddie is a classmate of Wanda, and how she feels about the whole incident, the sequence of incidents, is what makes the story. Maddie is the best friend of the main player in the daily taunting and teasing. When Wanda remains absent from school, her classmates learn that her family has moved away to the big city where they will not be mistreated for being different. Because in big cities, why would she not be mistreated? In big cities, there are multiple different types of people. So Wanda would be one amongst them. So she won't be noticed by other classmates and they think that she won't be mistreated. Maddie begins to wonder about the girl she and her friends used to constantly tease. And they realize that she knows very little about her. She begins to wonder why they started teasing her in the first place and is overcome with guilt for making fun of her simply because she is poor and has a funny name and is different from them. So at the end of it, Maddie realizes that what the classmates of Wanda had been doing with her was not appropriate, it was not proper. She also feels guilty about it, because the fact why she was being mistreated was simply because she was poor, she was from a poor family, and her name was different from the names of other students in her class or at the school. But that, do you really think that is something to be made fun of? Of course not. So Maddie realizes it later, and she feels guilty about it. Maddie knows that she should have stood up to her friends and defended Wanda. Since Maddie was Wanda's best friend at school, she realizes it before others. And then, why does she feel guilty? She feels guilty because she thinks she never stood up to her friends and defended Wanda. She feels guilty for not speaking up, for standing by and allowing her friends to tease Wanda. You would also have witnessed a lot of cases of bullying around you in your class at school. So the one being bullied always, is one among you. It could be you also. So what is your responsibility as a classmate, as a friend, is you stand against the bullies and stand for the one who is being bullied. Whatever is being done to the class, making fun of them, being rude to them, making fun of their name or their appearances, all of that is inappropriate. So you, as a friend, as a classmate of the person who's being bullied, it's your responsibility to speak up, to stand by, and not allow your friends to tease anybody. That is what Maddie now also realizes, that she should have stood by her friend Wanda, and she should also have stopped her other friends to tease Wanda. The lesson begins, as I already told you, with a letter received from Wanda's father informing the school about their moving to a big city where nobody would tease Wanda for her funny name as well as her appearance. So Wanda has been bullied, she has been mistreated to an extent that the family finally decides to move to a big city where there are a lot of people from different backgrounds, poor, rich, everybody go to the same school, and nobody teases anyone for their names or for their appearances. After getting familiar with the content of the letter through the teacher, the whole class got stunned and realized their derogatory remarks and attitude towards Wanda. When the teacher read the note before the class, every student of the class, including Maddie, realized that how insensitive, how inappropriate their behavior has been towards Maddie, just because she had a different name, towards Wanda. Just because she had a different name and she was from a poor background and she used to come to school in the same dress every day. Maddie felt so bad that she couldn't concentrate on her studies after knowing the facts. When she knew why her friend Wanda and her family had decided to move to a different city, to a big city, she felt very bad about it. She couldn't even concentrate on her studies. She wanted to meet Wanda in person to clarify her stand that she never meant to hurt her feelings. When the teacher read the note to class, Maddie desperately wanted to go and meet her friend Wanda personally to clarify to her that she always stood with her and she never meant to hurt her, but she had never done that in presence of her classmates. Now she wanted to do it personally. She wanted to go to Wanda's home to tell her and her family that she was her true friend. She never wanted to hurt her feelings. She never wanted people to bully her. She wanted to stand by her, but she never could, and that she was feeling guilty about it. When the school was over, Maddie and Peggy both went to the residence of Wanda. So Maddie, along with another friend whose name was Peggy, after the school was over, they did go to the residence of Wanda, who lived at Boggins Heights, to meet her. But by that time, they had already left, so their visit was fruitless. So they finally, when Maddie was so disturbed by the fact that Wanda has decided to move along with her family to a bigger city, she took a friend along whose name was Peggy, and both of them went to Wanda's residence. But when they reached there, they realized that the family had already left. Then they wrote a friendly letter to Wanda, telling her she had won the contest, but the letter was not responded by Wanda. So what did they do when they did not find Wanda and her family there at her residence? They wrote a letter to her, and in that letter they informed Wanda that she had won the contest. The contest was a drawing contest wherein her drawing of 100 dresses had won the prize. But the letter did not get a response by Wanda. On Christmas, Miss Mason, the teacher, received a letter from Wanda informing that she was no more in need of those 100 dresses, as she had new 100 dresses in her new house. Hence those should be gifted to the girls, especially blue one to Maddie and green one to Peggy. Maddie's letter did not get a response by Wanda, but on Christmas, her teacher, Miss Mason, received a letter from Wanda in which Wanda told her that she no longer needed those 100 dresses. She had a new house in which she had new 100 dresses. Hence, she wanted the two dresses, the blue one and the green one, to be given to Maddie and Peggy, and rest of the dresses should also be gifted to the girls. They accepted and pinned them in their bedrooms. The dresses were basically the drawings of the dresses. There, Maddie gazed for a long time at the picture and found that the face in the drawing was resembling her own. So the drawing that was given to Maddie, the one drawing that was drawn by Wanda, Maddie gazed for a long time at the picture of that dress, and she actually found that the face in the drawing was hers. Then she ran to Peggy's house to see her drawing. Peggy was also happy to find same in the drawing. Peggy consoled herself, saying that Wanda really liked them. So now they realize, actually after seeing the drawings with much concentration, that Wanda had actually drawn the dresses with their faces, Maddie's and Peggy's face in them. So which tells them that she actually liked them. Maddie agreed and blinked away the tears which came every time she thought of Wanda Petronski. So this made them very upset and emotional. Both of them agreed that yes, Wanda actually liked them. They didn't realize it when she was at school and she was being tortured, bullied, mistreated by her classmates. Both of them, Maddie and Peggy, were in tears with the thought of Wanda Petronski, their friend, who had left them. Now, the chapter gives us a very strong message. First message is respect for others. This basically is a book. Here in your book it's a chapter. It addresses the importance of respect for others by presenting the lessons learned by the characters in the story. First, the characters' lack of respect for others, then later they begin to demonstrate respect for others when they realize that although Wanda is poor and she is Polish, she's really no different from them. So the message that the children learn here, and we also need to learn, is even though somebody is poor, comes from a different background, is from a different community, wears different kinds of clothes, has a different name, they are no different from us. We still, as human beings, need to realize that we should respect one another. And this is what the characters in the story learn through the sequence of events that take place from the beginning of the story towards its end. And I hope all of us here, especially the children who are listening to this presentation, learn that bullying, mistreating, calling people names, making fun of them, they're making fun of somebody's appearance, making fun of somebody's name, making fun of somebody's clothes, somebody's background, is completely inappropriate. It should not be done at any cost, at any place, in any case. We at school, in a community, in a society, in a state, in a country, all of us come from different backgrounds. All of us look different and have different names. But at the end of the day, all of us are human beings. Nobody is different and everybody deserves respect. Another strong message conveyed through this chapter by the author is exploring issues of social justice. The issues of racism and classism are confronted in this book through Wanda's negative experiences in school, and because we learn that Wanda's whole family moves to the big city to avoid being ostracized, we can understand that the issues are much larger than just bullies at school. So basically the chapter also addresses the issues of racism and classism. What is racism? Racism is discrimination on the basis of somebody's race, the race that he or she comes from. And classism, again, discrimination on the basis of the class that a particular person belongs to. So the two issues of racism and classism are confronted in this book, in this story. How? Through Wanda's negative experiences, bad experiences at school. And since the whole family moves to the big city, why do they move to the big city? Because they don't want their ward, Wanda, to be mistreated, to be ill-treated, to be bullied at school. We understand that the issues are much larger than just bullying. Bullying is an outcome of racism and classism. So basically, what needs to be addressed is the issue of racism at large and classism. These issues with our negative experiences need to be addressed at this point of time. And then bullying will automatically stop. When you stop racism, when you stop classism, there will be no bullying. When you consider people from different races, classes, backgrounds, different types of social, financial backgrounds as same, not any different from you, and racism and classism will automatically be wiped off from the society. That is what the author wants to convey through the chapter, and that's what we need to learn from this story, and not only learn, to implement also. Now there are some difficult words from the chapter that have been explained here. Thoughtfully means with consideration. Started thoughtfully out the window with a lot of consideration. Example, from his shuffling, I assume he was very old. Deliberately means intentionally. He used that word deliberately. Holler means to cry loudly. He hollered out to surrender our weapons. There are more difficult words in the chapter, the explanation and meaning of which is given in the chapter itself. I hope you have understood the concepts, the message that the author wants to convey through this chapter. I'll again briefly give you the summary and explain what the chapter is about. So the chapter is basically about negative experiences of a student named Wanda Petronski at her school. She was being not treated well by her classmates because of her name, which was a Polish name, Wanda Petronski, and sounded a little different. And unfortunately sounded funny to her classmates. And also, since she was poor, she used to come to school in the same dress every day, but with the fear of being bullied by her classmates, she used to claim that she has 100 dresses in her closet at home, but she always used to wear the blue dress to school. She had a friend at school named Maddie, who always wanted to stand by her. She always wanted to be her friend, be her support, but she could not do it till the day when Wanda stopped coming to school, and then the teacher read a note in front of the class saying that Wanda has, with her family, moved to a big city and she won't be coming to school anymore. And the reason they had given of moving to the big city was that in a big city she won't be bullied for her funny Polish name and coming to school in the same clothes every day. Her friend felt bad and felt very emotional and sentimental for Wanda. She, along with another friend, Peggy, did go to their residence to meet her personally, to tell her that they did care for her, but unfortunately they did not find her there. They wrote a letter telling her that she had won the best prize at school for the drawing of 100 dresses that she had, but she never responded to them, which means she had actually felt very bad about it. But she did write a letter to the teacher on Christmas, which read that she, at her new place in the big city, in the big house, the new house, has another 100 dresses, and the ones that she had submitted at school, the drawings, should be given to the girls at school, especially to Maddie and Peggy. Then Maddie and Peggy, again, while looking at the drawings, realized that Wanda actually loved them, she cared for them, and they realized that they should have stood up for her while at school, respected her. And that is what we need to learn: mutual respect and standing up for the people we like, we love, respect for each other, and avoid bullying at school, and the bigger issues like racism and classism to be addressed at a very early stage in life. That is what the chapter is about. Hope you understood it.